Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills, there lived a young girl named Aira. Aira was 15 years old. She was kind, gentle, and full of dreams. She wanted to learn many things and become better every day. But Aira had one big problem. She always said, "I will start tomorrow." If she wanted to study, she said, "I will do it tomorrow." If she wanted to practice English, she said, "Tomorrow will be better." If she wanted to change her life, she said, "One day, not today." Days passed, weeks passed, but nothing changed. One afternoon, Aira visited her grandmother, who lived at the edge of the village. Her grandmother was old, calm, and very wise. People often came to her for advice. Aira sat beside her and said softly, "Grandmother, I want to improve my life. I want to learn. But I feel lazy and I keep delaying everything." The grandmother smiled gently and went inside her small wooden house. She came back with an empty jar. She placed the jar in front of Aira and asked, "Tell me, what do you see?" Aira replied, "I see an empty jar." The grandmother nodded and said, "Exactly, this jar is like your day." Then she placed a small stone inside the jar. She said, "This stone is one small good habit." Next, she added another stone, then another. Slowly, the jar began to fill. The grandmother looked at Aira and said, "If you add something small every day, your life slowly fills with progress. But if you keep the jar empty, nothing will grow." Aira looked at the jar carefully. For the first time, she understood. That night, Aira made a simple decision. She did not plan big changes, she chose just one small habit. Every day, she studied English for 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. Some days were easy, some days were hard, but she never skipped. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Slowly, Aira began to change. She felt more confident. She learned new words. She smiled more. One evening, she returned to her grandmother's house. She looked at the empty jar again, but this time it was full. Aira smiled and said, "I understand now. Big change begins with small steps." As she walked home under the warm sunset sky, she felt peaceful inside. Her life was no longer empty because she had learned to fill it, one small habit at a time. If you liked this story, please subscribe to English Growth Tales. Comment below and tell us the lesson you learned today. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.